Hi everybody, I'm Girl Writes What, and those of you who are paying attention may have noticed a couple of changes. The first being that snazzy intro that was sent to me by someone on YouTube who goes by the name of TheBroadcaste. And he just kind of sent it to me out of the blue. He thought that I should have a spiffy intro to go with my videos, and I've been trying to sort of get that together for a while. And so yeah, I think it's awesome. Starts out pink, but it doesn't stay that way. And who doesn't like a dead butterfly? Seriously, I'm really happy with it, and I just wanted to send out a big thank you to him. Also, for those of you who missed the green fly swatter, I have another kind of item behind me that might have gotten your attention. That is from Harry Crouch of the NCFM. He sent that to me and asked me if I would please display it on my refrigerator and see if he can get some attention for his organization, which happens to be probably the largest and most well-established men's advocacy group in maybe even the world. Warren Farrell is a member. There are a lot of high-profile members of the men's rights community who are also members of NCFM. And so I said I would do that for him. I thought maybe it would be a little bit more subtle, but I think with this movement, the whole idea of subtle has kind of gone out the window. So, and rightly so. So, just to get those things out of the way. And I also I have a couple of things that I need to cover as far as just stuff that's been going on. Number one, I've been putting out a call to any of my Canadian subscribers or blog followers to just send me a quick email at girlwriteswhat@gmail.com. There's some stuff in the works up here in Canada that I'm hoping you might be interested in. I don't really want to come out and announce anything formally just yet, but anyone who is interested in men's rights who happens to be Canadian uh, and wants to know what's going on, if you could just give me a quick email so I can put you on the list for a big email outlining all of the details and all of that when things do get rolling. Just put Canadian MRA in the subject line. There doesn't even need to be anything in the body of the email. So just to get sort of a list of contacts. And this is for anybody, not just people who have time and energy and stuff to devote to the cause, but just anybody who has an interest in it. So, and I will come out and make a public announcement and an mass email announcement at some point, hopefully in the near future. Second thing, and I'm mentioning this in this video simply because I've been putting it off for quite a while, for too long. I was invited to view a documentary produced by JW Documentaries that was called Are All Men Pedophiles? And it's currently playing at a few film festivals in the US and elsewhere, and I really just wanted to say a few words about it because it was probably one of the most balanced and wide-sweeping pieces of media on the subject of pedophilia and how it makes the distinction between what is pedophilia and what is ephebophilia, which is attraction to teenagers, basically, to people who have gone through puberty, who are sexually mature but who aren't considered legal adults. It touched on the biological and psychological evolutionary bases for people's attraction to sexually mature young people, and how that kind of attraction is both encouraged and condemned simultaneously by Western culture. Most fashion models begin their careers in their mid-teens, for instance, and there's just really nothing physically that can happen to a male or female after puberty is finished that will make them better biologically at generating offspring. And at the same time, the fashion industry is just throwing sexualized images of teenage girls at us as the ideal sexual partner for men and the ideal standard of beauty to emulate for women. And while we're doing all that, we're handing out criminal penalties to any adult man who acts on those attractions. And we socially condemn men who even seem interested in looking at them, which just is completely bizarre. These two things just cannot coexist in any kind of logical way. And the film, it really didn't spare female pedophiles from scrutiny, and it really doesn't pander to pedophile hysteria by implying that all men and women who are sexually attracted to teens and children are destined to offend. It even presents the extreme level of psychological and emotional conflict that some adults who are affected by this, I guess you could call it a disorder, um, when they work very hard to never cross the line from desire into action, and it deals with that in a really human way. So it was just a really refreshing change from the typical hyping and fear mongering of the mainstream media and just pop culture whenever sexuality and children and teenagers are discussed in the same breath. If you can manage to see it, I would certainly recommend that you do. It's very informative, and it's just extremely factual and balanced and all of that. So number four, I wanted again to express my thanks to all of my viewers and blog followers who've sent me donations, and especially to the ones who have shared their personal stories with me in private messages. And just both are very much appreciated, and they're really helpful in keeping me motivated, giving me perspective, and just freeing up the extra time that I need to do the things that I've been doing. So thank you for that. Next item on the agenda, I've got an interview coming up on May 2nd with Angel Clark of Radio Freedom, which is a libertarian internet radio program in the US. Angel is based in Delaware, and she was kind of shocked to hear a caller tell his tale of the deadbeat mom being prioritized over the competent father when it came to a specific case of child custody. She wanted to know more about the ways that men are discriminated against, and one of her listeners directed her to me. So I guess I'll be representing for the male half of the equality equation on May 2nd. Anyone who wants to wish me luck, keep your fingers crossed. You can either listen to it all go down live, or I'll post the podcast at my blog once that's all done. Next order of business. For those of you who've been wondering if I was writing a book, I'm kind of in the early stages of crafting a book proposal right now. I've already had someone from a good agency express interest in representing me, and hopefully they won't decide that following through on it would be the equivalent of career suicide. So expect news when I have something concrete to say about all of that. Making a book proposal is entirely different from writing a novel and then shopping it. It involves a great deal of outlining and planning, which is really not my style. I tend to write by the seat of my pants. So it's a new process for me to have to do, and frankly, it's almost painful to do it for somebody who doesn't think in a linear way like me. So if that doesn't pan out, if I cannot get representation, or if my rep doesn't get a publisher to publish it, I will definitely look at self-publishing through Amazon or Lightning Source or some other self-publisher like that. So come hell or high water, there will be a book, just to let everybody know. All right, and now to the meat of the video, after all that business is done. I wanted to say a few words, maybe not a few, but kind of off the cuff, about the disagreement that seems to be going down over the last week or so between some of my favorite YouTubers, Barbarossa, Stardust, and Rockin' Mr. E. Now, from what I gather, the whole thing started when Rockin' Mr. E proposed a system of kind of an advice, a series of videos on how a man can date safely in a feminist culture, how a man can find a relationship and build a family in a feminist culture and still be able to cover his ass and make sure that he's picking a good woman and not a bad woman, and the whole bit. And the response from Stardust and Barbarossa seems to be kind kind of along the lines of, yeah, well, of course, not all women are like that, but um, most of them are, and basically, what you're doing is you're telling men they should go mortgage their house, remortgage their house to pay for a lottery ticket that has a 1 in a million chance of paying off, and so it's really, when I look at both sides of that disagreement, um, and I tried to sort of pick a side. I tried to sort of decide whose side I'm on. And frankly, when it comes to this issue, my first knee jerk is to side with Barbarossa and Stardust and say, it's not worth the risk. On the other hand, when I met my boyfriend, we he was on his way. He was on his way to being MGTOW, just to going gold. Um, and we had met up on a dating site. Both of us weren't looking for anything more than a casual friends with benefits relationship, and that really just turned into something a lot huger than either of us thought, and kind of almost like a in between all of the sort of the feelings that you get when you're falling for somebody, all the lust and the excitement and the intensity and all of that. It was more, I think, for him, and for me, it was just the how much we enjoyed each other's company, and just even if all we're doing is sitting and watching Futurama, it was just great to be together. And it's been close to a year and a half, and it really still feels that way, that now that the excitement and the intensity has sort of gone to the point where, because things are no longer maybe between us, to the point where they're just simmering down under the surface. I love his company and I love him to death, and he feels the same way about me, and it just, when I think about how we are together, and I think about not having that, um, it just, that just really, it's one of the saddest things about this whole gender war, is that that is so hard to find now. And so when I think about what it must be like for men who really do want to have a family, and they're kind of in this system, immersed in this system where that's not a possibility. And I look at what I have and how lucky that makes me. And when my boyfriend, smiles at me and I can just see everything right in his face, it just, it kills me that there are men out there who want that and who are not going to be able to find that. Sorry, just give me a sec. Sorry. Guess I do kind of behave like a woman sometimes. But I just, what I am trying to get at here is that there are people out there, both men and women, who really, really want what I have with my boyfriend, and who are capable, I think, of not pandering to their instincts. Instincts are, you can only pander them as much as you allow yourself to. And frankly, if you can live with any kind of consciousness and self-awareness, and just an understanding of where these emotions, these kind of knee-jerk reactions, all of that, if you can understand where that comes from, uh, and why it is the way it is, that you can put those instincts aside and say, I am not listening to what you're telling me in this 30 seconds or these 5 minutes or this 3 weeks. I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to be above that. And so I honestly, I because memory functions are all wired all through our amygdala and all through our limbic system and all of that. Um, I really think that those instincts can be overwritten. It requires effort, and this is really the key, is that it requires effort and awareness, and especially awareness of where that all of that comes from. So biological determinism it may be, but it is not biological fatalism by any stretch of the imagination. And the more we learn about why we are the way we are and why we do the things that we do, maybe the better chance that everybody has to just kind of say, we're going to behave in a different way now. And just like talking yourself out of being afraid of walking at night or talking yourself out of being scared of spiders, I think it's absolutely possible with enough effort um, and awareness to talk yourself out of that female self interest that feminism is derived from. So, anyhow, I also just wanted to say that I hope that all of this disagreement doesn't lead to a serious rift in the movement because we really can't afford uh, to divide ourselves in this way. I just it's extremely disappointing to me. It's kind of like having two family members who just refuse to forgive each other or refuse to find a way to coexist together, and off they go, and then they don't speak for years and years. Um, I just right now the men's movement is just putting on steam. We're just gaining some serious ground and some serious awareness in the mainstream, and the opposition doesn't have to divide us to conquer us if we're prepared to chop ourselves into little pieces based on something like this. So I just wanted to say that I really, really hope that the people involved and the groups involved can just find a way to overcome this particular difference, this particular disagreement, because it's, if I have a hard time picking sides, um, you know, it just, I don't know. I just would really like to see this get resolved in a positive way so that we can all come together and start working at changing the system. That, I mean, there's two separate responses to a fucked up system, and if we fix the system, then there should really be no need for any of this. So, anyhow, that's all I have to say about that for right now, and I got some stuff to do, so I guess I will see you guys later.